Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Wednesday. It's May 21st. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And as you can see, we had a big sell-off today. Um, Definitely got to close outside the trend line now. We did relieve some of the overbought uh, situation. Will we bounce from here? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't pull back. We never really pulled back and tested this breakout area, and we never really filled that gap right there either. If you can see that gap between there and there. Never filled that either, so wouldn't surprise me if we didn't come all the way back and fill those at a minimum. But we'll see what tomorrow brings. Real quickly, again, I have my surgery tomorrow, so I'm probably out the rest of the week. I may, depending on how I'm feeling Friday, I may be bored sitting around the house. I may come in for a little bit. It just depends. It's doubtful though. I'll probably just take the next few days off and rest, and I have no idea how I'll feel or the doctor's already told me I've got a pretty much a light duty for the next 6 to 8 weeks. I can't be doing anything too strenuous or picking up anything over 10 pounds or anything like that. So, um, I'm going to be limited sitting at this desk once I kind of do get going again. So, anyway, so this is going to be our Friday most likely for this week. Definitely be our Friday for this week because even if I come in on Friday, I probably wouldn't do a chart lesson. Um, So I think this is probably going to be it for the week. But anyway, let's move on here. We'll flip over to our 2,000 tick chart. You can see what it looks like. We did have a sell-off today, and we'll flip over there and take a look at that, and we'll go through the trades, and we'll wrap this day and week up. Okay, here we are. You can see it. We were sideways to up. We filled that gap. Notice that once we filled that gap, it was off to the races down. And so it was a pretty strong sell-off from that point on. And we had a two-legged correction, which usually leads to, it's usually the middle of a pattern, so there's a chance you might get another measure leg day. I don't think we got anything like that. I'm not even going to try to measure it. I can look at it and see it's not. We ran out of time before we had anything that strong sell off again. So, um, but there it is. Let's zoom in here and we'll go through the trades and we'll wrap this. We'll wrap this week up. Try to make it a little bit bigger. But early on, we were working down, had a close outside new low. Then we had one up, close outside new high, and that happened right at 7 o'clock. I think this bar is at like 7:01. That is a second entry short. It's a 1, 2, 3 triple test. It's a nice signal bar. We're away from the MA. I like that trade. And then we get a lower high here with another great signal bar. I like it too. And we had a break here, move to a new low, and then we turn higher. You may go long here. It's basically a double bottom. We're away from the EMA. We're probably going to at least snap back to the EMA, but this trend appears to be over. It's just a little few swings down, and then it's reversing. And so now we got a channel working up, close outside new high, and we make a lower high right here with a nice signal bar. It's a little sideways. I went back and forth about this, but in real time I liked it, so I marked it. It worked. It took a little move. It took a couple of bars there before you were able to get out of it, but it does work, and it turns out it was a little sideways range there. We did break out the bottom side, but no setup there. It was tempting to go short right there, but there's just not enough room in there. It's not a very good signal bar either. I mean, maybe there is enough room, but based on that signal bar, I would not take that trade. Same thing going back. There's just not enough room. Um, it does turn out to be a nice trade, but you don't know that in advance. So um, we're working up, working up. I just don't see anything there I like. Close outside new high, and we actually make a lower high there with this nice signal bar, and you can see it's like 8 ticks. So I like that one just to ride it back to the EMA, and maybe it turns back down again. And there's actually a little trend channel here. I didn't draw it, but there it is. And you get a close outside new low. We actually make a higher low here. I don't think that closes in the upper 1/3 though. And it does shoot up and make a new high here. No way to go short there. There's a lower high here, but you're too close to the EMA. But then you get a third attempt to go higher, and you actually get a second entry short there too. Technically, it's not a second entry short, but if you count it from there, it looks like two legs back up. But I think you could call this a lower high and enter right there. And it's just 3 attempts to go higher too that failed. And this just looks like sideways stuff, and there is room to get out there. I didn't draw it, but you can see that. And again, it's a fairly low risk bar, 13 ticks. And here we get 2 legs back to the EMA, pulls back to retest the breakout area. Again, 12 ticks. I like going short there. And that's the only really chance you got to enter. And you got another second entry here, but the signal bar is no good. But you do get a close outside and a couple of swings to a new low. And you may go long there just to ride it back to the EMA. You really need a higher low to be safe, but I marked it anyway. I mean, I marked it as green, so you may take that one. And these are all just first entries all the way up. And then we're just working sideways. The prices were really struggling. They're trying to go up and fill that gap, and they just can't do it. And we just kind of string along sideways here. There's a higher low here. There's a move down, close outside, new low, and then a higher low with enough room to get out. Maybe you go long there. There's a little bit of resistance right across that midline, so you may question that one, but then you get a higher low here with a little more room to get out. And, it's like 10 ticks, fairly low risk, and that's the better trade. And you can see it runs up to the high. I don't think you can go short there because you're still in this uptrend. I mean, it's 6 ticks, so it's pretty low risk. But you don't really know about this resistance up here just yet. So maybe you just sit tight on that one. I mean, you might take for 6 ticks, maybe you risk it, but runs down and we get a close outside and a new low all in one bar. And it doesn't quite make the lows, so I don't like going long or anything there. But now you get another bar up here. Now you got a triple test. So I like that one. And again, it's 9 ticks. And that turns out to be a pretty good move. You really get 2 swings down to a new low. And then now you got a triple test here with a 9 tick signal bar. I like going long there. You even get a higher low on this one, so I like going long there too. Runs up here and fails out. I don't see any setup up there, and then it just kind of runs straight on through. And we do get a second entry here with a break of the channel and a new high, but the signal bar just doesn't qualify, and it's a shame because this thing takes off. And otherwise, I don't see anything you can really that you really want to risk all the way down there to enter that trade. You do get a second entry here, but the signal bar is not good enough. And you've already had a close outside and 2 swings down anyway. Then it reverses here. There's multiple swings down to this new low, but I don't think you can enter right there. You can clearly see that little channel working lower. This looks like a close outside the new low, but it's so close, I don't think you want to risk it. It does run up, and it gives you a second entry short, way away from the EMA. Notice that's a new swing low. It's lower than that one right there. So first entry, second entry. So there's your second entry short. Again, relatively decent signal bar at only 13 ticks. And off prices go down. And then you get a first entry, and there's another second entry here, but signal bar is no good. You might look at that as a lower high, but we made a new low, so to me that's just a first entry. Same thing here, another first entry. And then finally you get a first entry, second entry, but it's also a 1, 2, 3, 4, at least a triple test, maybe a quadruple, and it's a second entry, and you do get a break in new high as well. So I like going short there. That's too far for a lower high. Then we reverse. You're working back up here. This, I would call this a minor two-tiered channel inside the bigger one. And we run back up here to the trend line, and notice you get a first entry, and it works up here, and you get a second entry after a break and then 2 swings to a new high, and you get a second entry short there with a nice signal bar. I like that one. You're a little sideways here, but this breaks higher and turns back down, so you could almost argue there's a triple test, but there's a failure to go long on 3 attempts there. And again, it's a little bigger than some of the others, 16 ticks. So, but I still like going short there. Basically, you could call that a lower high, a lower double top high. It's a little congested, so if that bothered you and you didn't take it, then you probably did the right thing. So then we get a close outside, new low. It looks like we're going to go higher, and we just find resistance right there. And unfortunately, I don't see any setups. Drops on down. Now you're working up, and you get a first entry. And this breaks higher and fails instantly and turns down. That's a second entry short. So just go short right there. Nothing there, and you just kind of work down to the bottom. It's tempting to go long there, but this is a strong downtrend, so don't do it. Just sit tight. You're almost at 230 anyway, and that takes you into 230. You don't want to make a mistake this late in the day, especially trying to pick a bottom. So just don't do it. Notice once it was pretty obvious we were in a strong downtrend, you don't see any more of those try. It's all shorts with the trend, and that's the way you should play it. But let's take one more high-level look at it. And there it is. Mostly sideways early, and then boom, big sell-off late in the afternoon. Well, actually, I shouldn't say late in the afternoon. It started just slightly before lunch. So there it is. Not much else you can say about it. Just it's a shame we couldn't get an entry on this part right here, but we still got a few here. And so I hope y'all enjoy. Have a good trading the rest of the week, and enjoy your rest of your week. And if you're the praying type, say a prayer that my surgery goes smoothly and they correct my issues and I'm back in the saddle here pretty quickly. They said I'm kind of going to be light duty for 6 to 8 weeks, so I'm going to have to make the best of it. It's hard for me to sit around. I get bored pretty quickly if I got to sit around too much. I have to be outside moving around doing something. It's been raining here a lot anyway, but we've had the prettiest day here today, not a cloud in the sky. It's supposed to be that way the next 2 days, of course, when I can't really get out and do anything. So and then it's supposed to start raining again Monday and rain all week again. So that's kind of the way it's been for me. It's just rained around here consistently. If you're in the South, you probably know what I'm talking about. But we've had tornadoes. It's just been crazy weather for us. Just about every week we get severe thunderstorms and tornadoes down here. And when I say severe thunderstorms, they're not just thunder and lightning. The wind's blowing 80 miles an hour, and it's been crazy. There's trees down everywhere. Every time you turn around, there's a tree blocking the road. It's rained so much the ground is soft. So it's just been kind of hectic around here with all the rain we're getting. But next few days maybe it'll drop some, and maybe the next week it won't be so bad. That's what we have been seeing. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm just running my mouth here. So I hope you have a good rest of the week, and I'll see you next week. Most likely, I'm assuming I'll see you on Monday unless something crazy happens. If you don't hear from me Monday, I'll try to get some kind of update out or whatever. If for some reason there's no mid-morning chart on Monday, you'll know that maybe, I mean, heavens forbid, I'm sure I'll be here, but this is nothing serious that I'm going in for, but crazier things have happened. But you just never know. Maybe I'm not able to work Monday. I just don't know. I should be able to. But if you don't hear from me Monday morning and no mid-morning chart by 11, 10:30 or so, something's going on, and I'll try to get some kind of update out to let you know when I will be back. But hopefully I'll see you on Monday. I'm done for today. I'm done for this week. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.